I started designing this truck last weekend, and I'm only giving myself until the end of May to have a fully functional RC rotator wrecker. The first part of this project outside the basic shape is the lift axle, starting with the geometry. So currently the tire is sitting in its resting position, but the circle I have right here is going to be its deployed position, which is sitting centered with the wheel well, which is also the same as the other two axles. And using the points of where it rests and where I want it to go, I get the center of rotation, which is where I will put the pivot point for the axle. Next is going to be the hubs, and right here I will have the inner diameter of the bearings for it to rest into so it can spin nice and freely, and the holes on the back side are for heat inserts to hold the tire onto the hub. Now we need the main structure that will be holding the hubs in place, and the bearings will be able to sit right inside there, and if you add an extra thickness on the inside, it'll stop the bearing from going in too far and keep everything nice and sturdy. Now to keep it nice and printable, it's going to have to be able to be printed in multiple parts, which is why I have two separate pieces right here to keep some structural integrity in there. And the main reason I'm making so it's a cutout like this is because for the rear drive axles I still need to be able to have a drive shaft, be able to go right through the center of this without it hitting or scraping anything. The next little bit is just for aesthetics, so I'm just going to be skipping over that. Now it's time for the main arm that everything is going to be pivoting on and adding this main structure besides the servo that lifts and lowers the axle. Originally I was going to have it go underneath, but I figured above might end up being a little bit better for some reason and just make it look a little bit better. Now to still keep it printable, I can't have the center section also be printed one piece, so right there I mirrored it. And now I'm removing a section so that they act as a puzzle piece, and then once I add two screws in there, it will fully bond the two together and just keep it nice and sturdy. Now for the servo arm, I'm kind of just eyeballing it and seeing what feels right. And all I know is that when it's deployed, I want the servo arm to be mostly pointed straight down, so that when weight is pushed on it, it's not trying to force the servo to turn, and it will be able to keep itself nice and sturdy. And then I'm just adding some little basic brackets to hold the servos onto each side of the frame. And then I'm throwing together a virtual assembly to simulate what it would look like once it is fully printed and assembled. There we go. Plenty range of motion for what we're needing it for, and it should work great. Here's the printed version, printed with not great filament, but it works great as a prototype, and I think it will go together well with the rest of the semi. If you want to see updates on this project, I'm going to be trying to post almost daily updates on short form social media platforms, and then on YouTube I'm going to go for once a week. Thanks for watching.